The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored tonight. It's Trump time. The president says he wants to restore law and order in Washington, D.C. Today, President Trump announced a plan to activate hundreds of National Guard members onto the city's streets. This comes as he says the district is struggling to manage a rise in youth crime. Officers responded to a shooting in Washington, D.C. neighborhood Saturday night. Police say about 100 teens were gathered in the park when a young man started shooting. No one was hurt, but the Trump administration argues youth crime is out of control.
I see too much violent crime being committed by young punks, but they know that we can't touch them. Why? Because the laws are weak.
Some D.C. residents are calling the move an overreach, with the mayor saying violent crime is down from previous years. Joining us to talk about it tonight, filmmaker Sean Welling, Executive Director of Fiel Houston, Cesar Espinosa, University of Houston downtown professor Dr. David Branham, and political analyst Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld. Your thoughts, Dr. von Biedenfeld, is this overreach or is this something that President Trump can do as commander-in-chief?
You're going to start with the lawyer, and I have to say it depends, because this is within the legal powers of the presidents. The home rule establishment has permitted these powers, but crime is down. So is it difficult to distinguish between the political powers of the president, where he wants to further put troops on the street? We've got this case pending in California starting today, where the California justices are going to look at the ability of the president to put National Guard troops and then federalize them in various jurisdictions. How far can the president's authority go? Can we mask ICE agents? I mean, all of this is intertwined. And so I think there are some political aspects of this, but as far as a legal aspect, at the end of the day, this is fully the president's purview in the District of Columbia.
And Cesar, that should be a concern for you as well when the president, as many would say, overstep or overreach in this case with Washington, D.C. And now we're talking about ICE as well, where individuals come out with a mask on, and you represent, or you at least tried to be an advocate for immigrants out there. Your thoughts on what we're seeing in this country when it comes to the Trump administration?
Well, I mean, we've seen it already. Trump has deployed the National Guard in places like Los Angeles, in places like San Antonio, in places where he feels like there needs to be a crackdown on political unrest and things of that nature. Now, I've been to D.C. well over 50, 60 times. It's one of the safest spots I consider in the United States. I've been recently. I mean, you don't really see, but Trump is doing everything that he can to divert attention from all the mess ups, including the Epstein files, who are about to come out. And he's trying to divert all the attention away so that he can stay in the media, he can control the narrative of, look at me, I'm doing something, I'm doing the right thing, look at me, look at me, look at me, but don't look at that.
All right, Sean, your thoughts about this. Is the president doing the right thing?
Well, first off, we talked about crime being down, but from what point? It was extremely high last year, so it's come down, but it's still very high. The second point that is made is that these are young kids that aren't being held accountable, so they have free reign, and I understand that. As far as a diversion from what? Trump has been incredibly successful. So from the Epstein file, you know what we didn't talk about? I was in Central Texas for a week, and I heard the way they talked about Trump and what he did for them. Nobody talks about that. Were they talking about some file that existed 10 years ago?
Yeah, and Sean, you're referring to the flood victims.
Yes, I interviewed
for those who are not familiar with what you're talking about. Really quick, we got to hear from Dr. Branham. Is this all about politics, Dr. Branham?
I think so. I don't really understand the move, to tell you the truth. He's going to have 30 days. He better have a good plan. He better have Pam Bondi in place with what she's going to do, because when that 30 days is up, you're not going to get a joint resolution out of Congress to continue this, get the extension. So I'm just a little bit confused about what you can do in 30 days, because after 30 days, it's all over with.
All right, guys, we'll be back with more of this conversation in just a moment here on The Factor Uncensored with our guests. So stay with us. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're talking Trump time. Now let's get to the Texas legislature, Dr. Von Biedenfeld. When it comes to the Democrats, they're still on the run. They're still not back here. That special session is still on hold until they get back here. Your thoughts on the latest now?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, the governor has the ability to extend this special session indefinitely. So,
and he said as much.
And he's threatened the idea. But this is going to hurt Republican legislators as well, because at the end of the day, Republican legislators, while not as many of them are teachers or other sort of salaried professions, they are going to have to show up to work at some point, even if they're consultants or doctors or lawyers. So this is going to start penalizing both sides. And there's no way to say constitutionally that you can charge $500 to one side and not to the other.
All right, Dr. Branham, your thoughts about this? When we talk about President Trump wanting 5 new congressional seats here in the state of Texas, and the Democrats took off, what are we looking at?
Well, it's not an easy thing to take off. I mean, the average legislator makes about $17,000 a year. And so they have to have jobs on the outside. Mm-hmm. They have kids. So it's very, very difficult. I wonder how long they can last. Now, he wants those 5 seats. I think in the end he'll probably get the redistricting plan that he wants. But it's going to come at a cost. And that cost is going to be other states are going to come in and redistrict themselves. And there's going to be a big political fight where a lot of people in the state are going to have congressional member that they don't like anymore. Most people now have somebody they like. There's going to be a lot of people who don't. So that's going to have a big effect on the popularity of both parties.
Sean, your thoughts now when states like California say, we will draw out some Republican seats and basically ignore what Texas is doing or counter what Texas is doing. Your thoughts about the Democrats taking that action in New York and California?
If it's within the law, which to a large extent it is, then they're going to do that. And I think them saying that there's something extremely wrong with what the Republicans are doing, and they're doing it, I think from what I can see, it's within the bounds of what you're able to do, then do it. It doesn't seem like it's the right choice, but it is in with the law. So go forward, do it on both sides.
All right, Cesar, your thoughts?
I mean, this legislature had time to consider many things, and they wasted a lot of time. And the ineffectiveness of the Texas legislature is when they can't get everything done in the special session, so they have to keep calling special session after special session over just to get their political agenda forward. More importantly, you know, there's issues at hand, like the flooding that happened in Central Texas, and they only had 2 hearings on that, and on redistricting, they had over 20 hearings on it. So at the end of the day, we see where their priorities are. Their priorities are not really with Texas that are struggling, but rather their own political agenda for their own party.
Now, Superman actor Dean Cain says he is joining ICE along with Sean. Look like you're joining ICE, too. Are you joining ICE? And there's been some backlash for the actor who's also of Japanese descent. His father's Japanese. And he actually said in an interview when he became Superman on TV, people were like, we didn't ask for a Japanese Superman. But we have an about face here, or at least him embracing the Trump administration. So your thoughts about this?
Well, I think first to observe this is to say the amount of attention Superman's been getting in the past 4 months with the major motion picture has been incredible. So this is interesting to see Superman still come up in a different light. And I never thought of him as Japanese. I always thought he looked like, you know, good Superman. But as far as joining ICE...
Well, he brought that up.
Yeah. As far as joining ICE, I mean, if he wants to do that, that's fine. I think that's a bold statement on his half, and he believes that's the right path, and let's support him.
All right, Cesar.
Self-hate is real. I mean, there's a time when Japanese were put in internment camps here in the United States under very similar threats of what immigrants are facing now. And now he wants to go forward and put this agenda and invite other people to join him. When he plays a character who, if we want to get into it and we have the 2.5 hours of this show one day, we can get into the fact that Superman is an immigrant story. And self-hate is real.
Dr. Branham, really quick, wrap us up.
Well, I think, you know, everybody has their choice. Everybody has their choice, and this is his choice. He wants to do this. I don't think it's out of self-hate. I think he's got a personal mission for himself. And if you want to criticize him for it, that's your freedom too. So that's what I say. This is about America. You have free speech. You have freedom to do what you want. Go out there and do it.
Maybe he's a broke actor now.
What is that?
He's trying to get some money.
Probably. That's below the belt.